been caught masturbating?
Have I ever been caught masturbating?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
I have?
Yeah.
A few times.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
No. I haven't.
Have I ever been caught masturbating? Absolutely, yes.
We were all walked in on by our parents, right? Now, like, I wouldn't get caught because, like, just do it out in the open.
You're gonna get caught, and then eventually, like, as you improve your masturbatory skills, like you get toys, you get add-ons, and just different things, there's more things to get caught with. Yeah, it's really awkward. Just sweating, palm sweating. Don't want to have that conversation.
Have I ever been caught masturbating? I've been caught masturbating when I've been in like relationships or whatever, and they clearly didn't get me to orgasm, so I've just went and masturbated. So yeah, I've been caught, but I didn't stop. It wasn't like, oh, I'm scared. I just kept going. I was like, screw you.
Oh, absolutely. I've been caught masturbating, and I'm pretty vocal about it. I feel like that is a lot of the allure. I feel like telling your partner or telling someone or even just having them catch you in the act of masturbating is really hot.
Yeah, my husband was booked for like a whole bunch of scenes in a row, so we couldn't have sex. It's very common for guys in porn when they're working, they can't waste their jizz at night. I mean, I know every male performer has their own system. The professional thing to do is to save your jizz for set and to save your energy for set too. So you can't be like banging all night long and then go to set the next day and then give a really good performance. He started to feel like, okay, well, let's see what we can do. So he like went down on me and I like sucked his dick for like a little while, and then we kind of just like had to stop because like we couldn't like work up to the point of jizz. So it was almost just like a tease. So I thought it would be enough, but it wasn't enough. So I used my vibrator in the middle of the night and then he woke up.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely have been caught masturbating. Although usually I've been caught masturbating by partners, and that's just fun. You know, sometimes you masturbate like in a way that you know you're gonna get caught. You just care a little less about where you're doing it. Maybe you do it on the patio, maybe you do it on the couch, maybe you diddle a little bit. You diddle yourself a little bit when with the door open or something. Yeah. And then you can have sex. It's great. That's my favorite way to get caught masturbating.
I'll tell you a story. I used to get really stressed out and worked up really easily, and one of the things that I just could not handle was really bad traffic. And so one of the ways that I would deal with myself in traffic is to sit in the car and masturbate until it cleared up. And there was one specific time that I was like rubbing one out in the car while I was driving, like clothes, just over my clothes, just like calming myself down. And this trucker was in a huge semi truck next to me, and he like pulls up next to me and he can see down into the car what I'm doing. And he just starts cheering. He's like, yeah, this is what it is, bro.
My mom caught me once, but I was kind of like hiding behind like a pile of blankets. That was very embarrassing. She got over there pretty quickly. We didn't talk about it. We never talked about anything sex related, so there was no conversation.
It was like an after the fact thing, like I know what you were doing kind of deal, but I've never had anybody like walk in on me and like interrupt it. So that's good so far. There's still time, I guess.
I have, but I don't think anyone spoke up, but I think the quietness of like, so you were kind of up late last night watching TV, huh?
Yes, and it was horrible. I used to live in like this townhouse apartment, and I had a roommate, and the roommate had a girlfriend that wasn't supposed to live there, but she like never left and basically lived there rent-free. And at the time, we only had one computer, and the computer was downstairs. Every day, usually, she would take him to work, and then she would go to work, and she would be gone. So that's when I would go downstairs and like jerk off. And one day, she went to go drop him off at work, but she came back. And so she just like busted in the living room, and I'm, dildoing the fuck out of myself and going at it. And she opens the door and is just standing there like, like shocked with the door wide open, and I live in a complex and there are like children and people, all around, and she's just standing there with the door open. She doesn't know what to do, and I'm like, shut the door. And she like slams the door, comes in, and like runs up the stairs, and I'm just like mortified. I'm shaking. I'm so embarrassed. And so eventually, I ended up like going up and knocking on the door and asking her for a cigarette, and basically just like shaking, like smoking, and just being like, I'm sorry that you had to see that. I think we were like a little bit closer after that. You kind of have to be after you've seen something like that.
When I was a teenager, I got caught, and I just remember my parents walking in, or my mom walked in, and she was like, oh my God, what are you doing? I was like, what's the big deal? Why am I in trouble? I don't understand. And my mom flipped out. She lost her fucking mind.
What were you masturbating with?
Like a back massager, like a Hitachi. It didn't look like a Hitachi. It was like a legit massager with like all these attachments. Because my mom had a bad back, and I just was using it one day, and I was like,
I used to get caught masturbating all the time. That was just awkward, and it wasn't really talked about after that too much, because it was like, oh, sorry.
Once by my aunt, which was awkward. There's no way around that. It was just like awkward.
I really haven't been caught masturbating. I'm pretty sneaky about it. But also, I didn't start masturbating until after I was already in the adult industry. It took, people teaching me about my body for me to start really utilizing my body.
My boyfriend walked in on me masturbating, and at first he was like, oh, I'm sorry, like give me privacy. And I was like, no, wait, now you're here, come here.
Oh my God, so many times I've been caught. My parents have definitely walked in on me multiple times, touching myself when I was a little bit younger.
I have not been caught masturbating, actually, because usually when I do it, it's in front of a camera and I'm being paid for it. And I use the loudest sex toys in the world. It sounds like a weed whacker or a jackhammer. I think my neighbors have heard me, if that counts, but no one's ever walked in on me in a shameful way, even as an adolescent growing up. No partners walking in on me. If anything, I'm like, if they were to, I'd be like, you want in? Nah? Okay, go.
I remember one of my first boyfriends. I had gone over to his house and I thought we were gonna study together, and I saw him masturbating on the couch. So I was kind of like, what's he doing? He's, because I just thought we were gonna have a makeout session. We actually hadn't fucked yet. And he was full on masturbating, and then he finished. And so I was like, hey, how are you? What are you gonna do today? He's like, oh, let's take it easy. I'm a little tired. I'm like, are you? And he's like, yeah, I've been playing tennis. I was like, okay, you've just been playing tennis. So that got always stuck in the back of my mind. I'm like, tennis, that's gonna be the code word for, I jerked off before you came over.
One time was by my roommate recently. I was in my room, and she barges in being like, hey, I have this thing to tell you, because we're really good friends. I had the full dildo and Hitachi going on. And I'm like, hi. She just signed with my agency, and which I'm so excited about. And we're like, should we put each other on our no list so we don't get like in a scene together? And we just sat for a second and we're like, nah, we'll definitely have sex. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and obviously it was like it's really embarrassing. I guess when you live with people, that's like the unsaid thing, right? Like, oh man, if you catch me masturbating, please just back out slowly and not worry about it.
I mean, sometimes it's like intentional because you're like, haha, I know they're gonna walk in this room. So if I start touching myself, it's gonna lead to other things.
The funny thing is, I had 2 different roommates, and they were both porn girls, but I would never use my Hitachi while they were home. Even though there's a lock on my door, even though I've fucked both of these girls many times, I just didn't want them to hear me and know right at that very moment I was masturbating. They would, and I'd be like, good for her. I wouldn't judge or anything. I don't know why I had that weird hang up.
It's not really something I hide. Like, yeah, I play with myself. Who the fuck doesn't?
Yeah, I got caught a lot, rubbing up against the couch. I've been caught by friends and family. Yeah.
I've never really been caught masturbating because I usually think of it, you're like interrupting me masturbating. I masturbate when anyone's around me, and I kind of announce it before and during, just so you don't interrupt my orgasm. I'm usually like, shh, I'm trying to come.
No, I haven't actually been caught masturbating because for the most part, when I masturbate, it's like over the jeans, let's get it done in like a minute and a half. Don't have time to sit and be all flowery about
you know, touching and, oh, yes. No, it's just like, let's get this Hitachi, yes, done.
My mom and my grandma have both like found one of my toys in my room while I wasn't there. It would happen on 2 separate occasions. They both reacted the same way, basically. They were really awkward. It was so awkward that the fact that it happened twice to me by 2 different people, I'm like, damn, I'm not smooth at all.